Hey everyone, happy Friday and welcome to another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So the shop is looking kind of empty. It's not actually as empty as it looks for a couple reasons. One is that the Speedster replica, which has been sitting right there, is next door getting its carpet installed. So it's still here, at least in spirit. I think he said he's going to finish up the carpet this weekend, and then probably Monday install the door panels, and we'll go ahead and put the seats in and all that stuff. So yeah, I don't remember if I showed you guys the back seat or not. He finished the back seat up, so here it is. Looks amazing, and front seats are ready to go in. This morning I spent a while and got those positioned in the car really well, and then went ahead and drilled holes in the floorboards for those, so that he can go ahead and put those holes in the carpet, because I hate putting holes in carpet. So let my upholstery guy do it. And but yeah, so holes are in the floor pans, and then he'll put the carpet in, and he can add the holes in the carpet for the seat mounting. So but anyway, so yeah, it is next door. So probably the next time you guys see that car, which would be Monday evening, I suppose, the interior should be done. So I'm very excited to see it. It's really going to look amazing and elevate the entire car, I think, just by having a bitchin' interior. And then we'll address the other things with it along the way. Well, while I'm standing here, Jacob was in today for kind of a short day for him, but I think he was here maybe 4 hours or so. Anyway, he primarily worked on the 40 horse for the beautiful mouse gray bus, and mostly wrestling with these things. I don't know, for those of you that have installed these before with the little insulators, these things can be a huge pain in the butt, trying to get the holes on them lined up and get these insulators in. The insulators fit really, really tight in the little channels that they go in, and it's just a pain in the butt. But this is probably one of my least favorite things about assembling motors, is dealing with these little heat insulators for the heat risers. So I let Jacob struggle with that, and of course I gave him some pointers and stuff like that, helped him out some, and I think he's pretty much there. He's just got to, I think, bolt it together the rest of the way. But yeah, it can be a real struggle. So that was his day. Anyway, so what else? I did one small thing on this car today, and I had to get these all the way from Canada because Wolfsburg West is out of them. But these cars, 67, the correct seals for the handle to hood seals are clear like that. And so ordered those from our friends at CIP1 in Canada, and they actually came relatively quick. I wasn't sure with all the tariff stuff going on if it would take them forever to get here, but yeah, they came pretty quick, and so I went ahead and installed them. So nice little touch there, having the correct seals on there. So that was about it on this car today. I don't think I did anything else on it. So as I mentioned, I did put holes in the seats holes in the floor for those. Did that on the Speedster today. James is 67. Pretty much I'm done with this car. The only thing is that his ignition switch showed up today, and so I went ahead and installed it, and it comes all the way out to where it should, unlike the other one that I had. I had a temporary one in there that I got from Brian Roth that was kind of recessed in there, but I could still get a key in it and operate the car with it. So that's what I used when I broke the cam in and did all that stuff, and then the correct one showed up today, so got it installed. So that's it. That's what I'm doing on this car. I did spend a little bit of time on his engine. Let's actually go back there and see that. So I had only really mainly run this car before when I was doing the cam break-in, which is of course at an elevated RPM, and I hadn't really tried to get it to idle. So today I kind of tested that out to see if it would idle, and it would not. I don't think it's a big deal. So I gave James some pointers, some things to look at on the carburetor. I think it's the idle circuit of the carburetor. He said he literally paid like 54 bucks for this carburetor from eBay, which is kind of amazing because it looks pretty nice overall. I mean, I'm sure it's from a Chinese sweatshop like most everything, but I was kind of surprised that it was that inexpensive. But anyway, it won't idle, and one of the things you can test to see why they won't idle is the idle fuel mixture jet on these earlier carbs down here. If you screw that thing all the way in and it doesn't make any difference at all on how the motor is idling, then that pretty much means your idle circuit's not doing anything. So pretty much the only way I was able to get it to run was to screw the throttle speed screw like all the way in, really pretty much bottoming out the screw, and then I could kind of get it to idle. And then at that point, that's when I screwed in this idle mixture thing all the way, and it made like zero difference. So basically, to get it to idle, I cranked this out so much that I think it was probably drawing off like the progression circuit, maybe even the main circuit a little bit, and that's the only way that it was idling, because it was clearly not getting any fuel from the idle circuit itself. So I suspect a couple things. One is a clogged idle jet. The other is a lot of new carburetors that you buy have these stupid safety shutoff valves on them on the idle jet, and so I don't really trust these things. Usually what I do is I take this thing off and throw it in the garbage, and then I just put a regular idle jet in there. Pretty much a 55 idle jet is going to run pretty well on just about any stock motor, almost regardless of what size it is, 36 horse or pretty much all of them. A 55 is damn close on almost any of these motors. But yeah, I pretty much throw this thing in the garbage usually. I don't trust it, and just put a regular idle jet in there. So I told him that. I told him go through the carburetor. A lot of times these carburetors coming from China, you know, the machining and stuff on them is okay, but a lot of times they're just dirty on the inside, and you know, they have maybe remnant from the machining process or manufacturing process or whatever. So it's probably just got a clogged idle circuit, or this dumb thing here is misbehaving or whatever. But James can figure it out. He's a pretty sharp guy, so he'll get to the bottom of it. But that having been said, I am officially done with it now, and he is coming to get it on Monday. So excited to get this back to James, and hopefully he'll have it on the road soon. So let me talk about what else I worked on today then. So this afternoon, I went ahead and started wiring this guy. You know, I was kind of running out of things to do in the shop with cars that are in the shop. So I went ahead and turned my attention to this one. The guys next door were going to take this and do the start on the headliner today, but I kind of got into the afternoon and they hadn't taken the bus yet, and so I was like, you know what, I need something to do. I'm going to start wiring it. So I pulled the main wiring harness, which on these you pull from back to front. So you pretty much take the wires that are going to the front of the car, you tape them to the existing harness, which we had cut off but left, you know, like 6 or 8 inches back here, tape them together, spray some WD-40 on it, and then you get one guy back here kind of feeding that wire into where it goes into the chassis. And then another guy, which in this case was me, laying up underneath here, kind of pulling it up under there. Once you get it to the front, then you feed it up through the bottom of the body, and comes in over there somewhere, kind of crosses over, and then ultimately comes over here. So this is the main harness. Again, this runs to the back of the car. And then I went ahead and also stuck in the headlight harness, which is this one, and routed it over to the headlight bucket. So a little bit of wiring done on this. Again, kind of needed something to do. And then I turned my attention to a lot of the electrical components for it. Mainly what I worked on were the external lights. And so overall, things are in pretty decent shape. His backup lights are okay. I need to try and straighten these bulb holders out, but I would prefer to use those over reproduction ones. But yeah, I mean, they have some patina on them, for lack of a better word, but they're original. Hella boom. But I can straighten that out. That's not a big deal. His bezels cleaned up pretty nice, so probably, if I can get this to focus, probably go ahead and use these. You can see they have the hole in them there for draining on the bottom. And his lenses were super bitchin'. These are original glass Hella lenses. Really, really nice. A lot of times these are cracked because people like over tighten the bezel on them or whatever, but these are immaculate. So very happy when I cleaned those up to see how nice they were. His taillight lenses are actually in overall pretty good shape, and you know, they're original SWF ones, logoed and everything, but a couple things. One is they're looking kind of pink. The color is pretty faded, and then they are pretty scratched up. I think I could polish that out with some plastic polish, but I'm gonna have to kind of see what they look like on there. I think they might be too pink, just too faded to really look right. If we could use them though, it would be killer, because look at those logos and stuff on there. Freaking awesome. So we'll see. However, what I am for sure using, the bezels for those, check these puppies out. If you can focus. Yes, there we go. Look at that. SWF stamping and a VW logo on these. So super killer. I am definitely using these. They cleaned up really well. They have a little patina on them. I may see if I can clean these up a little bit better with steel wool, but that may be as good as they get. But mostly you're looking at them kind of from the back like that, and that surface cleaned up really nice. I could clean it up a little bit more, but that logo and the SWF on there, super cool. Likewise, these headlight retainer rings cleaned up pretty good, and these have a nice logo. Where is it? There it is. Yep. So those are nice. These actual buckets are pretty nice. A little bit of rust on them, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these. I'll probably reuse them instead of getting reproductions, but I may disassemble them and repaint them, or I'm not sure. We'll see. These don't really show, but yeah, I don't really like putting rusted parts on super nice cars, so probably go ahead and clean these up and spray some fresh paint on them. And then likewise, these bezels, these are original Hella ones. They had, in fact, I can show you. They're not stamped as such, but they actually had paper stickers on the inside like that. I guess maybe at that point, by 69, they had stopped stamping the logo on these. I'm not sure, but actually, you know what? I think these had earlier ones. I think they had like a blue ink stamp. I don't think it was a pressed in logo, now that I think about it. Anyway, regardless, they had those paper ones. These are original Hellas, and again, they've got the drain hole on the bottom. These aren't in great shape. They're kind of foggy looking, even though I cleaned them up. So I may go ahead and replace these with the stainless ones, which look really nice. Front turn signal housings, not great, but original. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with these. However, this one is missing part of the bulb holder. I got to dig through his stuff and see if the part that snaps on here, which I'm assuming is like that white thing there, see if that's in his stuff somewhere. Otherwise, I may have to replace at least one of these. What else? The taillight housings they're pretty rough, and they're actually like coming apart and bent and cracked. I don't think I'm going to reuse these. However, the reproductions of these are pretty miserable. The ones that I've been able to get are just super cheap, and I don't really like them, so I'm not sure. I may maybe see if I can hunt down a nice original set, because the reproductions of these, at least the ones I've found that are available, are pretty much garbage. And they'll work, but I just don't like them. They were put a pair on that that bay window truck that was in here, and I just wasn't super happy with them. So we'll see. His fuse box, I was going to clean it up, but alas, it was broken, so no point. You can see the tab there on the right broken off. So I hope I get a new one. But and then I haven't got to his Speedo cluster yet. But yeah, I'm starting to go through stuff electrical wise, and then I need to go through all of his fresh air ventilation stuff and put that in, because that also goes in pretty early in the process. Before the dash goes in, you got to assemble all that stuff in there. So lots of work to do. Anyway, that is it for today, guys. And I believe that is it for this week, because I'm heading to San Diego tonight to see family. So I guess I will see you guys again on Monday. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye.